I got to give some love to Isaiah Livers. He looked good.
Yeah,
he looked really good.
I'm excited to talk about the Pistons because
let's do it. Let's talk about Detroit.
Obviously, we'll get to the big two names, but more importantly, Isaiah Livers. He has to lead off the Pistons segment.
Yeah,
why wouldn't he? I'm so excited for an Isaiah Livers breakout year. God, I'm just praying that this dude can stay healthy because he's so good. He is so good.
One of my favorite guys I watched in Vegas. It's not even close. I thought he looked perfect for a rebuilding team that wants to take that next step, that just had a good draft. And now all of a sudden you add Isaiah Livers into that impressive draft this year because he missed the majority of his rookie year. I think he played some games to end the season, but this is a nice piece. And he looked exactly like what he looked like at Michigan, where it was he took his shot when he had his shot. He made the right plays, played great defense. I posted something on Twitter and I was talking about like how much I was so excited to watch him and he looked great. And someone was like, check out his defense. And I was like, I know I checked out his defense. I love him. This is my favorite pick from a couple of years ago or a year ago. So, but it was just so exciting to watch because he knows his strengths.
Yeah.
And
he just knows how to play.
I can't stress that and people are like, duh, that's important. It's like, no, but some guys got to swallow their pride and realize like, this is my game. I'm going to do what I do best. And if it's not there, I'm moving the ball. I'm looking to make my teammate get some success. He was just great. He's going to be an important piece for this Pistons team moving forward. I loved what I saw from him. I thought he looked so good, Metcalf. And he also knows like, hey, I belong. I'm going to make some noise this year. And when I say make some noise, I'm not saying he's going to average 20 a game, but he's going to average. God, but he's going to be a guy that puts up 15 some nights. And like, damn, he was good. Like he was just. I love him. Absolutely.
I'm all in. I've continued buying his stock, just his entire time at Michigan. His just all through summer league. He's been so impressive. He's just one of these guys, like you said. He just knows how to play the game, and he knows who he is as a player and plays to that. And that's something that coaching staffs and front offices notice. Not everyone needs a 20-point per game scorer. Those guys are few and far between. And, the odds are you're not going to be one of them. So what else can you do? Can you knock down an open three? Can you attack a closeout and make the extra pass? Can you defend at a high level? Can you defend multiple positions? Can you block guys at the rim? He's doing all of it. I love the way his game has continued to develop since he was a freshman at Michigan. And, if he's healthy, which given his track record could be a big if, I think there's a real high level 3-and-D wing there.
He's got the potential to be the guy that has to be on the court in crunch time minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's how highly I think. I also think he's got the long-term potential to be like every playoff team's trying to get Isaiah Livers in free agency. Like I'm saying like way down the road when he's a vet.
Jay Crowder-esque.
Yes. Like Jay Crowder, PJ Tucker. Like you're just like, if we could get Livers on this team, it's such a big boost. But I also think Detroit's probably like, he ain't leaving here. Like we're keeping him forever. But it's just because it's like he's a smart basketball player, plays the game. He gets his shots. Mm-hmm. He can shoot it the crap out of it from deep, but he also gets after it defensively. He knows where the ball's supposed to go. I love him. I think he just really knows how to play his role. And his role is not being the guy for the Pistons. His role is going to be like, I need to be the guy that, when it's my turn to take a shot and I'm wide open, I'm making them pay. When it's my turn to move the ball and get somebody else a shot, I'm doing that. And those guys are, like you said, those are glue guys. Those are guys that get you from the rebuild to the next step. And I absolutely love them. And now we're having this podcast be all about Isaiah Livers. We don't need to talk about anybody else, Metcalf.
No, I think we were going to need to devote a full hour and a half episode to just
Yes.
Isaiah Livers in the future. But no, everyone should be ready for the Livers breakout year because I do think it's coming sooner rather than later. But the two big names for the Pistons are obviously Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, who I thought both were incredibly impressive. First with Ivey, in their first game I watched, is right at the start of the first quarter is like, oh, he's kind of struggling with the speed and physicality of it, and then 10 minutes go by, it's like, oh, okay, he figured it out. And it felt like he was almost too hyped up for the game and like too ready to get out there, and just the brain, the body, all of it was going at 1,000 miles an hour for him. And then he kind of started to dial it back and just play, and it all looked so much smoother for him. And as just envisioning him play in the backcourt with Cade Cunningham, it's like, God, that's going to be so much fun for them. Bummer that he turned his ankle, but it's just a turned ankle, thankfully. So whatever, he'll be fine. I think he's the real deal. And then Jalen Duren, it's rare that we get a 17-year-old who's the most physically imposing guy on the court. I've been really impressed with what he's been doing. He's shown a little more passing than he did at Memphis. Obviously, I know there were passing flashes there at Memphis, but I think he's going to have so many games where he just feasts because of the gravity that Ivy and Cunningham demand. And then he'll just be there in transition and on those backdoor lobs. I think he turns 18 in December, which is just wild. Pistons fans should be over the moon about the direction their team is headed.
Duren looks exactly what he needs to look like.
Yeah.
He knows his role early on. He's been active. He's been physical. They were playing him kind of like quick spurts, and it was kind of annoying. And then one of the games we saw, he was playing like extended minutes, but he's a load in person. And I think he's been great around the basket, where it's like if he gets an offensive rebound, it's like, oh gosh, everyone just looks like, oh, well, he's going to slam it. We can't stop. It's just, he's going to be fine. I'm really excited. I was very impressed watching him. Ivy was really interesting because his first game, I thought his box score looked better than how he played.
Agreed.
And what I mean by that is just, I think he ended up with like, 26-6?
Something. It was an impressive line.
Yeah, it was a nice line. And if you saw that line and you didn't watch, you'd be like, oh man, he took over. And you worded it perfectly. He was too hyped up for that game because you saw some drives. He was just like out of control. It was like a sports car with no brakes, just like going all over the place. And then we went to go see his next game because I was like, this is the game I would think if you're Ivy, you calmed down and now you're ready for what's going to happen, because they were putting him in positions to be a point guard. And I think he was trying to do too much to prove it in the first game. So then he just was all over the place, but then he ended up closing that first game really strong. And it was like, okay, now it looks like things are a little, like you were saying, Metcalf, things are a little calming down. That second game, he had 11 points in 5 minutes. And I turned to, I think Nathan or Albert or even maybe Nick, and I was like, he's about to go nuts. I was like, he might drop 35 because it looked like everything slowed down. He had like that step, he had that swagger. He was like kind of looking at the crowd, nodding his head, and then this stupid rolled ankle. I was like, cool, sweet. He was just about to drop 40, but it looked so impressive because it looked like everything slowed down. He already had that overhyped first game where he had so much energy, and then he was like, okay, I got the first one out of the way. Now let me go to work. And it was a bummer, but I think Pistons fans, like you're saying, should be pumped out of their mind. They got great pieces alongside. That whole Pistons team was like courtside watching all those games.
Yeah.
They're excited too. Like Cade looked like, oh gosh, this is going to be fun. And I was very impressed with the Pistons team in general. They have a fun core grooming together.